Is there anybody on there? It's starting?
Wait.
Does it look like people are...
It's not, the clock isn't going.
No, you don't need a clock. Does it look like anything's happening?
No.
Okay, let me look. Yeah, she's watching. Sherry's watching. Okay, so we're just a few minutes early.
But there's no 1, 2,
It doesn't
3.
matter.
Look, but there's no red button to press, Karen.
I think we're okay. Let's see. Let me look here. Sherry said she's watching.
Yeah, but there should be a
Sherry
clock
said-
going.
I don't think so.
Jamie said, yeah, watching. Jessica's watching.
Yeah, they're watching, Jeff.
Okay.
No, it's not.
So-
Over here. Okay, so are they watching, right? Are they saying that?
Yeah.
Who else is watching? We got another minute, so we're going to hang out a little bit.
But can I just show you something? Is this the way it's supposed to look?
Yeah, that means all these people are watching.
But when do we start?
No, that's it. They're just waiting for me.
So they hear this
Yeah,
conversation?
yes, Jeff. That's what they're doing. So we're gonna start in 1 minute.
But shouldn't it say record?
No, Jeff.
Well,
Jeff,
wait,
ignore
wait.
the phone.
Maybe
Ignore
it's
the phone.
somebody who's
No,
telling
stay
us
there,
something.
Jeff. Hello? 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 Flip the phone to the side now, she says.
What?
Flip it. She said flip it. Flip it
Ooh,
right now.
flip it.
Just
What?
flip it the other way. Is that better? She said flip the... Oh, then we're good now. We're good now. Just leave it that way, Jeff. Thanks.
So you want me to hold it like
Yes,
this?
just like that. Just like that. I'm going to go. Now we're going to start.
Like,
Just like that, Jeff. You're good. Okay. I think we're good. Jeff, we're all
Wait.
good. My photographer, the coronavirus, this is what I get for the quarantine photographer. Okay. Hi.
is it straight? Yeah, guess
I
it's
don't know.
okay.
I guess we're whatever we are. Okay. Thanks for tuning in. Hi, my name is Karen, and I'm with the Plant-Based Nutrition Movement. I've been plant-based for over 6 years, and today we're going to discuss why kombucha is important. It's really, we want to look at why kombucha is so misunderstood. As you know, COVID-19 impacts the immune system. Symptoms may range from very mild to severe, and a lot of it depends on your age, which obviously we don't have any control over. History of chronic disease, and we're going to learn today that we do have control over that. Obviously, we don't have control if we're going to contact COVID-19. Many people are, but our immune system, we could boost our immune system. So today we're going to focus on why kombucha is important to us right now with this COVID-19 pandemic, along with other fermented foods, and the fears and concerns about consuming it and making it. And then I'm going to walk you through how to make your own kombucha at home. So first, can you please write down any comments or questions about what are fermented foods and how do you think that they're beneficial? So let me see if I can answer your questions first. Do you see any? Not yet, but you see people.
People with this?
People. You see people. Or does anybody want to
No, just go.
guess what fermented foods are? Okay, so we'll get going. As we learn about the fermented foods, if you have any questions or comments, please write it down in the comments. And fermented foods actually help with they absorb the nutrients. So I know that in the media they talked about hydrochloroquine, and taking that along with zinc actually helped to absorb the zinc. But we could do some things. Obviously, we can't all take hydrochloroquine. That wouldn't even make sense. But we're going to talk about natural things that we could do. So fermenting your foods actually helps absorb the nutrients. And then there are foods that contain zinc.
Excuse me, we have someone who has a question.
Okay, what's the
What
question?
is fermented?
Fermented means that it's like a probiotic. Okay, it's foods that are active, live cultures. And there are many fermented foods. If we could just come over here and look over here. Fermented foods is like active cultures in yogurt. So I obviously will have the plant-based. Can go back up a little bit. Miso, you could use that in many foods. Sauerkraut, tofu, and tempeh. So these foods, and kombucha, of course, which is
Where do you purchase those foods?
Okay, go back up over here.
What's,
Where do you purchase those foods at? You can actually purchase those anywhere. Any food store carries all those things. Whole Foods, but Costco, Mariano's, they all carry these foods. Trader Joe's.
Is all tofu fermented?
Is all tofu fermented? Yes, it comes from a fermented soybean. Some of them are sprouted, so I try to buy the ones that are sprouted, but if not, as long as it's organic, they tend to be non-GMO. Okay, so we are going to focus on kombucha. Is there any other questions while we're waiting? Okay, so again, fermented foods help with your the absorption of nutrients. It helps get the foods that you're eating into your cells, and it boosts your immunity. So again, we're going to focus on kombucha. Anything
When you
else?
boost your immunity, what does that help?
That helps fight off like viruses and infections, bacteria. But the biggest thing right now, of course, is the virus, the COVID-19.
And that'll help that too.
That will help fight it off. So what you're doing is just giving yourself things to help fight it off. So the biggest thing when I had a couple of years ago, I actually bought hold on one second, I forgot the package. Okay, talk to them, John.
We're taking a commercial break here, so just hold on a second.
Somehow I think I'm all organized and I don't know what happened to the package.
How does it help fight it off?
How does it fight it off? Because they're active cultures. Our bodies are made up of millions of bacteria. We need to outnumber the bad bacteria with the good bacteria because we have both, but we want to outnumber it. Okay, and so that's an important question. I'm glad you asked that. So a few years ago, when I wanted to make kombucha, I bought the package, which, hold on, I think I could find it right here. I don't know where that package is. Okay, well, whatever. I bought a package of kombucha, and I was too scared to make it, okay? So I let it sit on the counter. I was scared to use this mold thing that could go moldy. That was my concern, and I thought it had a lot of sugar. So I was thinking, how could this actually be healthy for you? So then I just started buying it and drinking it, and I felt so good after drinking it that I started just drinking. You don't need a lot. I just started drinking like a quarter of a bottle a day.
Somebody asked you to develop a taste for as you drink it on a regular basis.
You do, and it's not real sweet. Of course, you can make it sweeter when we're going to talk about that, but it generally is not like a real sweet drink. Obviously, if you make it and then you want to pour it into something that's sweeter, like a juice, to make it sweeter, you could do that. But you do develop a taste. I really like it.
Why were you so scared then?
I was scared because of the SCOBY, which I'm going to show you in a few minutes. I was scared that it was going to develop into mold because people, when I mention the word kombucha, they think, ew, moldy, gross.
It's highly misunderstood.
Highly misunderstood.
And it is getting a bad rap.
Yes. So is there any other questions so far? Okay, so let me talk about what they
Does it taste, somebody wants to know, does it taste like beer?
No, not at all like beer. Not at all like beer. All it is a fermented tea. So it has like it could either be lightly sweet or it could be on the vinegary side if you let it ferment longer. So it could go up to 21 days.
So is it like a wine spritzer?
It's a very light, not even, because it has very trace amounts of alcohol. So you're not going to get inebriated from it. You're not going to feel those effects from it. It's just a very light tasting. I would suggest just to try and buy any of these brands are good at the store, and then you could use these to make your own. Try it first to see if you like it.
So do you mix it with water, or how much do you drink
I
it in?
actually dilute it with water. So actually, this is what I was drinking. So I'm running out. So I have a glass of water, and then I just put maybe a quarter of a glass.
So 3/4 of the water.
And yeah, that's what I do.
Perfect.
But as you get used to it, you could tolerate a little bit more. It does wonders for your system. If you could look up the health benefits, it's such a long list.
Is there caffeine in it?
There's no caffeine.
Okay.
There's no caffeine. Some people are drinking this instead of like carbonated sodas, instead of alcohol. I know in certain areas of the country, I know California and Colorado, they have kombucha on tap. And so it becomes, it's a health drink, okay? Doesn't really have the alcohol, very minimal trace, like I said. So should we begin on how to make it?
And again, for people who it's too much overwhelming to make it, you could always buy it at the
Just
store.
buy it, but I think it's kind of cool. Before I go into how to make the kombucha, let's go over here. And I'm going to just show you a few things. So they're saying to fight the COVID-19, you need to have a lot of vitamin C, okay? And we all think about fruits. Fruits, of course, citrus fruits has a lot of vitamin C, but so does spinach, broccoli, and red peppers. That's on the high list of vitamin C. Okay, red pepper, spinach, and broccoli. And then they say you need vitamin D. Okay, this is also part of the what they're recommending. Vitamin D you can get from the sun. Today's a sunny day, but not every day is sunny. Mushrooms is also vitamin D. And then for people who don't live in a sunny area, I would take a vitamin D supplement because that's important for you. I like it with the K in there. Garlic, and of course ginger, which we're going to use in our kombucha today. Immune fighting properties. B and C vitamins are in the garlic. And then zinc, that's what they're talking about for the people who have it with the hydrochloroquine to take zinc.
Slow it down.
So now they have, so these are all the foods that contain zinc. Garbanzo beans.
And all this stuff will help build up your immune system?
Yes. Can you go back a little bit? 6 feet. Garbanzo beans, hemp seeds, lentils, these are all zinc. Quinoa, cashews, and I'm going to tell you later about why I soak them. Pumpkin seeds, are you getting it? Flax seeds, which you can have in your oatmeal every day. Chia seeds, same thing.
Slow it down.
And walnuts. So these are all zinc, natural forms of zinc. Okay, please go back over there.
How about turmeric? What is turmeric?
Oh, turmeric is also anti-inflammatory. So yes, add that in. And here, I actually put that in my
oatmeal. And how does
oatmeal
this
every
tie
day.
in with kombucha?
It ties in complete. If you go back over here, please. Thank you very much. It ties in because, so these are considered probiotic foods. If you have high fiber foods, that's considered prebiotic, and it helps push it through to the cells that you need it. And so all of this is going to help boost your immune system. Okay, so let's start off on how would you make kombucha. First, you have to boil 4 cups of filtered water. Okay, so I just get the distilled water. It's easier. Can you see it over here, Jen? So you want to start out with boiling 4 cups of water. So I start out just buying distilled water or filtered water you could use. Okay, so I take 4 cups of water. I'm just going to put it in my, I'm just going to boil it in my tea maker here. Okay, so while that's boiling, so that's boiling, and okay, we'll wait till that's done.
Somebody has a question. Can you use tap water?
They don't recommend tap water. It should be filtered because those chemicals that are in, like the chlorine and all the other chemicals, they said it can interact with the SCOBY, which I'm going to show you in a minute what a SCOBY is. Okay. So it's called a first fermentation and a second fermentation. The first part is when you're just boiling the water and seeping the tea. So I'm waiting until that boils, and then I'm going to put the tea bags into the water. So the type of tea bags you could use is either black, green, oolong, or white, an organic when possible. I just use this because it's really inexpensive and it's all black tea. So I use 8 bags of this, and this will make a gallon of tea. I'm now making 2 gallons of tea, fermented tea, to make kombucha because I'm trying to give it away as well because I really want people to enjoy it. Yes, you're laughing.
Because I'm sure nobody would buy this stuff anyway.
Who said that?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay, Joe. Okay, so that is boiling, right? Who likes to watch water boil? All right. So
Doesn't tea have caffeine in it?
Oh, that's a good question. So there probably is a little caffeine with the with the tea in there. That's true. That's true. Okay. But this is the healthiest form of caffeine you could possibly get. So the first fermentation is just making the tea. And then I'm boiling it right now. So once I get that all set up.
Yeah, by the way, yes, it does. Okay.
Yes, it does. Yeah, it does have caffeine. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how you make it with no caffeine up there. I'm assuming they all have caffeine, but
Can you, somebody wants to know if you can use hibiscus?
Hibiscus. You could use that during the second fermentation, which we're going to do. Once it's sitting there for, I let mine sit about 9 to 11 days. That's the first fermentation. Once it sits there, when you do the second fermentation, then hibiscus, yes, you could add that to the second. And actually, that's what they do with many of them to get the nice flavors.
Yeah, somebody just made a comment. Her mother likes this, and she's 91 years old.
Is that Annette?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's one of my weekly people who comes and gets it for her mother. But we maintain 6 feet distance, just so you know. Okay. So I'm going to have you look.
Yeah, and somebody said they think kombucha needs caffeine.
Yeah, it probably does because you can only make it with the tea. So I'm assuming, I don't know any other way, because it's a fermented tea. So Jeff, if you look here, while that's boiling, if you look over here, take a close look on top. This is what, do you see that looks like it's mold? Do you see it? No, John, what are you doing? Oh, just go right on top.
Yeah, it is.
Do you see it? Does everybody see that? Okay, go back on way, Jeff. Go back. Does everybody see it? So go look and see. Go back. No, go back over there and see if people are saying anything. Okay, this was the first fermentation. Go back further, please. Thank you. This is I'm going to put the directions. You don't have to write anything down, and all the supplies, if you would like to know it. I'll put links to that. This is a heater for the kombucha. So it wraps around. I really like it because it's the kombucha in the first fermentation. It needs to maintain 75 to 85 degrees for the time that it's sitting out. Okay. So now you can see it. Now you can see on top. Just really quick. Can you see on top? Go from the top so they can see a little higher up. Okay. Now go away, please. Okay. Did everybody see that? So this is the first fermentation. I had it wrapped up in my heating.
Yeah, but somebody wanted to make a comment that SCOBY won't thrive with hibiscus tea as the base.
Yes, it will not. That's exactly right. It will only survive when you're on the second fermentation. Okay, so I'm going to give you both, I'm teaching you how to make a first fermentation and second.
Oh, somebody, how do you know it's not molding?
That's what I'm going to tell you in 1 second. How do you know? Because this is kind of whitish, grayish, or it's all one color. Mold looks like, and if you see mold on your bread or any type of food in your refrigerator, you know what mold looks like. It's green, it's got weird colors. This is pretty uniform, and it may have some brown or gray. If you look at it, I'll lift it up in a few minutes because we're going to need that for the second fermentation. So I took my 4 cups of water. Jeff, are you over here? This is for the first fermentation. I'm starting you from scratch. So I put that in there. Then I put in 3, 4, 8 tea bags. This is black tea. I just put it into the water. I'm going to let it seep for 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, want to get back over there?
Yeah, by the way, at first I was a little apprehensive to drink the tea, to drink the kombucha, but you know what? You do develop a taste for it, and before she started making it, I used to even drink it from the bottle from the store, and it was good. It's tasty.
But this is way better. It's way better because you're controlling of what you're putting in there, and it's so inexpensive. I'm trying to look at the time so I know how long to do it for. Okay, so
no, I just want to say people are making comments. Once they try it, they do like it. They really do.
Yes. And if you live in the neighborhood, you can certainly come over and I will give you a bottle 6 feet away.
We're like moonshiners over here. We make our own.
Yes, so what was I going to say? Yeah, and plus it's so expensive when you buy it at the store. It's practically nothing making it at home once you get the materials. It's like over $3 for a bottle. It's way, way overpriced. It's just tea and sugar, that's all it is. And the rest is all time that you're waiting. So, okay, so that's going over there. So once that seeps for 5 to 10 minutes, then you're going to add a cup of sugar. So we're going to wait a few more minutes. So we're going to, once that's all done, it sits in the bottle with, in order to make your first fermentation, can you see me with that right there? In order to make the first fermentation, you need the tea, you need 2 cups of the starter. So in other words, you need to save 2 cups from your previous batch, or you buy the starter. And I'll leave a link for the package that I actually bought. But if you're in the area and I have extra scobies, I could obviously give you a scobie. Because this is, I created 2 scobies from this. From one, I created another one. Okay, so you need a SCOBY every time you start, along with 2 cups of tea, fermented tea that you had previously. Or you could buy plain, with no flavors added, just plain kombucha at the store as your starter, as long as you have a SCOBY. Okay? And a SCOBY is that piece that's on top that stands for symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. Okay, and it's a live culture, so it is so beneficial for everyone. Okay, so once we have a couple more minutes before I go to the second part with this, but let's go here. We're going to take out our SCOBY. You want to make sure your hands are very clean before you take out your SCOBY. Okay, so this is what the SCOBY looks like. Can you see what it looks like? I know it looks
If somebody had a question, if you order a SCOBY online, how do you start that?
It comes in a package with the 2 cups. This is how you would start it. So this is pretend you just opened up the package. It's getting kind of thick. This one's getting kind of thick. So this is, I don't know if there's another one in here. There's like a mother that comes with it, and then it creates a baby. I don't know where the baby is. I'm new at this too, but this looks like it's already splitting, but we'll be very careful with it. Okay, so this is the SCOBY, and I'm going to put this in here. I took out the SCOBY from the one I just made. This would come in the package in the mail, along with 2 cups. Oh, jeez. Oh, my goodness. That was scary. Along with 2 cups of the tea.
Oh,
some people
somebody
taste...
wanted to know, is this vegan?
Yes, absolutely. Can you go back further? Okay, so we're going to save this for the next batch. This is what would come in the mail. It would come in a package, though. It would come with the SCOBY and 2 cups of the fermented tea for your next batch. Okay, so we have a couple more minutes before I go and work on that. And let's see. I think I'm going to work on this afterwards. Okay, so I'm kind of making a first fermentation and second fermentation. Like I said, the first one is when it's sitting out for the whole minimum 7 days, but some people taste it as they go after 7 days. You could taste it and see if you like the taste. If it's too sweet, then go longer. Okay, but you can make it a little sweeter when you get to the second fermentation. Okay, so let's see. We have 2 more minutes, a couple more minutes over there. All right, so I'm gonna start. This is the second fermentation. We'll just say that the tea that I made today has already been sitting here for, and it has been, for this sat here for 11 days, but a lot of times I check it after 9 days and it's good. And again, this has a thermometer here. This comes with this thing, the heater. And it should be between 75 and 85.
Is it true the longer you wait, the less sweet it is?
Yes, it'll be more vinegary tasting. Yeah. So some people like it. Some people like to go longer. I prefer about 9 days, but this is 11 because it was just convenient. Okay, so let's see. I think that this is good just to go over here for this one. So we're going to, after you take, it's already been sitting for about 5 to 10 minutes. Go back further so you can see. So now we're going to take out the tea bags. Okay, I'm gonna take out the tea bags. This is what you did to start out, right?
What's the koozie wrapped around the bottle?
Oh, I'll put that, it's a heating wrap for kombucha bottles. But I'll also put out the link. So after you took out the tea bags, now you want to add in a cup of sugar. This is for your first fermentation. A cup of sugar. Seems like a lot of sugar, but the SCOBY is actually consuming it. The SCOBY needs it to survive. So you're like feeding it. It's like your pet SCOBY. You're feeding it. So you are stirring it till it dissolves. This is how easy it is. Literally just stirring it till it dissolves. Do you see that, Jen? You just see how dark it is in the beginning? Okay, so you dissolve the that. Now you're going to add 8 cups of the filtered water. This is for the first fermentation. 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, so now it actually cooled it down because the water was hot. So what you're going to, you can go back over here, Jeff, back further. Okay, can you see? So, okay, so that tea that I just made, it's all ready to go. All it needs is here, this. But I'm gonna wait until I'm done making this, then I'll have this glass bottle, this gallon glass bottle free. Does everybody understand? I'm gonna add that tea with this to the this bottle when I'm done. So this sat here, and then that's going to sit there between 7 and 21 days. My preference is around 9 to 11. Again, you can taste it if you want. Okay, so does everybody understand? That's the first fermentation. When I'm done with this, I'll put it back in there, and then maybe you'll understand a little bit better. Okay, so now I'm going to create, these are great bottles. I'll have links later on today. I'll put links for everything. These are really good bottles because they seal really nicely. I know they use it to make beer. You can use old bottles.
What if you don't have a starter kombucha?
You have to have a starter kombucha. A starter SCOBY, it's called.
Okay.
So I have a link for a kit that I will, it costs maybe like $8 or something. You get the SCOBY along with the 2 cups of starter. I'll put a link to it. Okay, so now we're on the second fermentation. So what I'm gonna do is, sometimes I'll put a little bit of juice, because again, you wanna feed the SCOBY, you wanna keep it going, and it likes a little sweetness, and it doesn't taste sweet at the end. But I found that this actually helps it, makes it more fizzy. So the more the sugar or sweetness that it has, it becomes fizzier. So I'll take a funnel, and I'll just add a little bit of this.
It's like we're running a meth lab here.
Oh, geez, there's something in there. I do feel like that, actually. Okay, so I'm putting a little bit of this, I found to be really good, a little bit of juice in here. So I'm gonna put a little bit of here. And then I'm gonna put fresh fruit. Some people don't do any of this, but I like to try it out. Just a little bit.
How much kombucha does a starter kit make?
A gallon. It makes a gallon. Okay, so let's see what we're doing here. Okay, so then can you go up closer? I'm going to, you can go further. Okay, so I'm just gonna slice up fruit, and you could add, there's so many combinations of things you could add. In fact, Jeff, can you show them these books? This is a great book, and I'll have links for that as well. Go back further. The Big Book of Kombucha and Cultured Food for Health. I will, again, have links for that. Okay, so come back over here, Jeff. Jeff, back over here. Okay, so I like fresh ginger, so I peeled it, and I'm going to cut it in small pieces. Remember, this is also anti-inflammatory. And you're not going to get these fresh things that are in when you buy it at the store. It just kind of, it doesn't have all the fresh stuff. And before you drink it, you can either strain it out or drink it. I drink the whole thing because I love it. I love ginger. So I just put that in there. Things are flying, of course.
Julia Childs has just tuned in.
Oh, thank God. You know who I did invite, by the way? Sebastian Maniscalco, the comedian.
He is funny. But
I invited him
Steve
because
Rome
I figure he's bored.
Steve Burke is watching. There are,
I couldn't get a hold of Oprah.
thousands.
I tried to invite Oprah. You know, I don't know. People aren't doing anything, so why aren't they available? They're home, right? Okay, so I'm putting ginger in every bottle. Obviously, and that there's so many combinations that you could put. I can't even talk. You could put in here. So it's your own. No, I have to add more juice to that one. Okay, we'll just start over here. Okay, so I have ginger in each thing, right?
Oh, the comedian, he cannot show up because he's not friends with you on Facebook.
No way. You didn't say that. It's public. Are you being funny?
No, that's what somebody said. How about ginger chunks and ginger juice?
Yes, okay, now I'm cutting up mangoes. Because apparently Annette's mother loves mangoes. But I don't know if she's, well, I'm mixing it with everything. Annette, do you think she'd like it with the that juice? You don't need to add juice, you can just add fruit.
We got to adjust it next time because only friends could join.
What?
Well, we'll
I don't know what I'm doing. Does everybody see
it's
what
not
I'm
set
doing?
for the public, was it set
Well,
for
it was supposed to be. You know, I need a manager.
You get what you pay for. You don't pay nobody.
I think you got to go further away, Jeff.
You don't pay anybody, you know?
This coronavirus.
She wants all these people to work for her with no charge, you know?
Is anybody free that can come over with a mask? Okay. So, as we're doing this, any questions? I think the more fruit you have, the more fizzier it's going to be. I know, it looks kind of gross, but it's your own gross, so I washed my hand. Any other questions? It makes about 6 or 7 bottles per gallon. How's that look? I love fruit in here, and crushed blueberries is also awesome. I know, it's making it looking gross here, I'm sorry.
You're making a mess.
Oh my God, oh, that's the wrong thing. Oh, okay, I'm not up to that. All right, okay, what else? Let's just start putting this in here. Okay, where's my funnel? So now you're gonna put your tea in here. Now watch this. This is from the first fermentation. Go back further. It's gonna start bubbling because it likes sugar. Does everybody see this? How cool are we? Oops. How cool is that? Of course I make a mess every time, but other than that, it's very cool. You can keep on adding fruit, do whatever. Are people liking this? Are they? Oops.
Why is it bubbling?
Because it's the carbonation from the sweetness. Now you leave, this is the second fermentation. You can leave this out and it's already starting to get very bubbly. It's carbon dioxide that's building up. So you can leave it out from one
to...
Do
you eat the chunks too?
I do. Some people, strain it out, but I love the chunks. Don't you, Jeff?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So 1 to 3 days, you could leave it out. And if it's still not fizzy enough, but because I added so much fruit and I add a little juice, it's going to be pretty fizzy. So that's 1 bottle. So we're going to continue along making these. And so this is considered the second fermentation. You leave it out for 3 days. The first fermentation is the bottle, this tea, combined with the tea over there, and that's it. And then you cover it with the cheesecloth, with a rubber band, just like I did, and keep it at 75 to 95, over here, John, 75 to 95 degrees for, like I said, 7 to 21 days. And that's basically it. Does anybody have any other questions? I'm just going to continue to make more of this. I'm going to keep on filling this up. I'm going to use both bottles and create another 2 gallons. Any questions?
Craig wants to know when I do the cooking.
Jeff doesn't really do any of the cooking. He just kind of consumes things. He does help with the dishes.
Hey, look, it's a very challenge to make this stuff, but at least try it.
But once you make it, it's so... How much fun is this? I mean, seriously, that you actually made this. I mean, seriously. I mean, this is so cool to make your own. It tastes way better than this. This is, there's no comparison.
When does it get refrigerated?
Oh, good question. So after 1 to 3 days, I usually go 3 days, and then you put it in the refrigerator. Do not open this until after you refrigerate it because it could explode into the garbage.
Okay, Craig, please. You're making me laugh. Craig wants to know how many of these drinks you need to get a buzz.
A lot. It's very, very low traces of alcohol. There's
Can
kids
you,
in
Lauren
my...
wants to know, can you add alcohol?
Oh, you can do whatever the heck you want once it's made, but make it this way, and then if you want to add it to other things, that's up to you. But there's kids in my class that they're in middle school, and their parents are making this, and they drink it, because that's how healthy it is.
Oh, how about the explosion?
How about the explosion? Okay, so once you put it in the refrigerator, it slows down the fermentation. So then it's not going to create any more fizziness or anything. So then you open it after it's cold. Right now it's like room temperature. After 3 days, I'll put it in the refrigerator, and I will have a lot of kombucha.
Danny says they accidentally can contaminate a batch of homemade kombucha, and it can be deadly.
And now, so that's where the misunderstood. So most of the time they said it's not. I had a nightmare because when I first made it, the first batch came out perfect. And then I made a second batch and I thought it had mold. So I threw it away. And then I looked it up online and they said, in that book, there's tons of pictures. It was not mold. That was what it was supposed to look like.
Also, Frank Domino wants the recipe too.
Funny. Does anybody have any questions? This is the first fermentation. Leave it out between 7 and 21 days. 9 to 11 is my preference. Keep it covered. Do not keep it in a darker place. So keep it like this with the rubber band on it.
Danny wants to know if you did Did you do YouTube video?
I will put this on YouTube. Yes. But so keep this in a dark place. Some people put it in a shelf, in a closet. I leave it in the dining room. And it's covered anyway because I have my heating wrap around it. So you want to keep it out of the sun. So look how easy it is. Anybody willing?
How many bottles do you usually make at one time?
7, about 6 or 7 bottles per gallon of what I just made. And again, I will have all the steps on Facebook later on today. And all links to any supplies.
Why do you use a cloth and not a jar cover?
You could use, it has to breathe on top, and you could use this cheesecloth or cotton cloth, or you could use a coffee filter, but I would use an unbleached one if you're going to use that. Any other questions? I don't want to bore you, keep on making all these. Any other questions? Nothing? Then bon appetit, and from my home to yours, stay safe and healthy.
Oh, it's so cool. Can you do a craft?
What
You
else?
got some kibitzers here.
Is that it?
Oh, is Barry and Shayna coming for Pesach?
Okay, people.
Yes, it's kosher for Pesach.
This is kosher for everything. It's kosher, vegan, paleo, gluten-free. Got everything. Give yourself some live cultures. This is the gift of health, seriously. If you're in the area and you'd like a gift of health, come on by.
Karen Panzer made a comment about almond milk is next.
Oh, yeah. If you want any future classes you'd like me to demonstrate, please put it in the comments below. I've already had a request to make breakfast in a jar, so we're going to talk about that next time. And if you have any other comments or requests, please put that in there.
And that says she likes it, and she said she'll get some more.
Yes, I'm her dealer. I'm Manette's kombucha dealer.
The price is right.
Do people feel feel comfortable now?
Oh,
making
Sherry said she's doing almond milk next week.
Oh yeah, that's why I figured I wasn't going to do that.
Different
Sherry
flavors,
from
yeah.
PBNM, and there's a lot of resources on that website, pbnm.org, by the way. But Sherry is another director on that, and she is going to demonstrate how to make almond milk. So that's why I'm not going to do that.
Well, tell her about how schmutzig the almonds were.
Oh, very good. Thank you. Before I go, okay. So when you do anything with
This
almonds,
message is for Dale.
yeah, right.
Dale, get on board, kid.
When you take almonds, make sure any almonds you use, soak it. Look at this. Look how dirty and murky this water is.
Dale, look how schmutzig it is.
Dale said sometimes he doesn't do that, but you have to because it's gross. And when you soak it or sprout it, that's what they call, you should be soaking and sprouting all nuts and seeds. So you take this, so like say I soaked it today and it's all murky. I just took the almonds from here. I put a cup because I'm probably gonna make almond milk myself if I could do this. And so what I do is I'm going to rinse that out and it gets very disgusting, right? So I'm going to rinse it out now. It's good to go. But it was gross before. Even if you're not going to make almond milk, now it's nice and clean, you could just dry it out, leave it on a baking sheet. Go back. You can leave it on a baking sheet and let it dry and then snack on it that way. Or put it in a low temperature in the oven. Or just use it to make almond milk. Whatever you do, you should be soaking it. What else do I soak?
Somebody made a comment that you make good oatmeal and on tuna.
Yes. Thank you.
Dale does it now.
Yes.
Thank God, Dale. Otherwise, you're in
Dale.
deep
We don't want
trouble.
any murky almonds. Okay. And here, this is another class.
How long do you soak it, by the way?
Just like overnight or for the day. This is another class, sprouting.
Oh,
Is anybody interested in learning how to sprout?
Danny wants to know if you can make a video on peanut butter and jelly.
This is sprouting. So this is another class. This is another live food. But we could talk about, is anybody interested in learning about sprouting? Write that down in the comments and we'll talk about that. It's so easy. I literally could tell you in 2 minutes. But I don't know if you want to wait 2 more minutes. Does anybody want to wait? Or we can make that another class. So sprouting is also a live culture. When you make lentils or mung beans or anything, take a cup and put it in water and let it soak. Any type of beans, lentils, mung beans, anything. So let it soak. The next day, you rinse it out and then leave it in the strainer with a towel over it. Eventually, you're going to get little tails on it. That means it's active and it's live. It's going to unlock the nutritional benefits, and it just makes it so much healthier. Anything that's sprouted and that's live, you're giving yourself good bacteria, healthy bacteria. So I hope everyone stays healthy and safe during this time. Yes, John? Do you have any parting words?
Somebody made a comment, if the corona don't kill you, this stuff will.
No, this is going to help protect you.
Okay. No, it'll build. How will it build up your immune system?
Build up your immune system. That's
You
all.
got a better chance if.
That's all we have is our immune system.
Why is it left in the strainer?
Oh, so after you soak it and then why is it left in there? And because you're keeping it and you want to keep it covered. For example, so you have that's too hard to show you. Okay, so then you have the cup of beans, okay? You soak it for overnight. Then you take it and then it's wet right after you rinse it out. And then you're covering it up. Again, everything in order to grow bacteria and live cultures, you have to take a towel and cover it up over it. So then the next day, I do it for 3, but in the morning and night, I'm rinsing it out and just covering it up. And then eventually you'll see those little white tails.
Danny wanted to know about sprouting.
Yeah, so do you want me to show you now or do another? I could do another class next time. Should we do that or do another class next time? What are people saying?
I don't know. What's kvass?
Kvass.
I don't know. Something about kvass. Okay.
Okay, so I think we'll do that another class because I think you might be overwhelmed. Because we could talk about sprouting, how to make...
Do it next time.
Yeah, that's a lot. So I really hope you enjoyed this. And if you have any questions or comments about future classes, please let me know.
What's more nutritious, the tail or the body?
Of the whole thing. Of like beans and that, when you just eat the whole thing.
Karen Panzer said now.
She wants to know now. I don't know if anybody else is going to stay on. I'll just tell you really quick. What do I do? Where's my thing?
Now it's good.
Now's good. You know, I'm going to show it next time because I feel like it's a whole...
You get what you pay. It's a 4-part series. This is part one.
This is like the Tiger series.
Yeah.
So I think we'll just end it now, and then because I mean, I can meet her on her porch and explain it. Okay, goodbye for now. It's already been...
Now.
Who else said now?
Jamie.
Really? Okay, you people don't have anything to do. All right.
How long is it?
It'll only take a minute. Let me.
Okay.
Okay, but just hold on. Let me get out of the refrigerator. Don't let them see the inside of our refrigerator. Golly, now. Okay, Jeff, talk to them. Keep them entertained. Jeff, because now I gotta find the seats.
Okay, you got an audience, a captive audience.
Can you talk to them, Jeff? See, I wasn't prepared for this.
Will the recording be available? Her roommate wants it.
Oh, okay, here we go. Here we go. There we go.
It will.
What a mess I'm creating. Okay. Here we go, people. Are you seeing it? Okay, so how do we start the sprouts? I didn't think I was going to do sprouting at the same time. Okay. And this is already growing tails. So what you do is you buy these sprouts. I get it from the Sprout House or anywhere that you trust. That's a good place though. You're literally just taking, this is how easy it is. Another thing that's easy. 2 tablespoons of sprouts. Then you fill it up with water. Okay? Fill it with water. Okay, go back. Okay. You need to get these covers though. You need to get a cover. So then you twist it on here. It's gonna sit here all day. So say I just started this today. It's gonna sit here all day. Tonight, I'm gonna go like this. I'm going to rinse it out. And then I'm gonna fill it up with more water at the night. So tonight I would do that. And then in the morning, I'm going to, okay, wait, let me start all over. It's going to be sitting all day with the water, okay? And then tonight I'm going to rinse it, just like I showed you. And then in the morning, so the morning and night for today, just keep on filling it up with the water. Do not drain it until the morning. Then in the morning, now you don't want the water anymore, okay? And then what you do is it sits here in a bowl, covered up, so it does not get any sun, no sun.
Say goodnight to him.
Say goodnight. I have lots of creatures. I say Toby the Scoby, I have this. And so it's sitting here and away from the sun. And then every morning and night I'm draining it until this whole thing, eventually, every day it's getting bigger and bigger. The whole thing is going to be filled up with sprouts by the end of 4 or 5 days, depending on the sprouts. This is a mixture of alfalfa and different sprouts. So unbelievably healthy. You can put it on your sandwich, on your veggie burger, whatever. So this is going to fill up. Any other questions? That was like super easy, right? Okay, I think that's it for now. Stay safe. You can finish it, Jeff, now. You gotta hit finish. No, on the thing. Oh my God. Get what you pay for.
Okay.
Did you finish it?
Yeah, I guess. Oh man,
You can't turn, I don't think you finished it.